The healthcare situation in Texas, as with many states, perhaps all states, is pretty rough at this point. With continued Republican leadership in certain areas, including women's reproductive rights, it's only getting worse recently. But there are attempts to rectify that situation, and we're going to be joined now by a guest to break down the Healthy Texas Act that aims to do massive improvement in that area. In Texas is Clayton Tucker, statewide coordinator in Texas for Our Revolution. Clayton, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on. So describe for us the Healthy Texas Act. What is it about, and at what stage in the progress of this bill are we currently at?
So the Healthy Texas Act, or as we like to call it, Medicare for y'all, and y'all means all, is it's a single payer, it's a statewide single payer bill. It was crafted by the National Nurses United, and it does basically everything we need a healthcare system to do, at least on the state level, until we can get the real deal solution on the national level. So it covers postnatal, it covers emergency transportation, and really just everything we need. Where we're at in the bill now, the Texas session has ended, which is both a blessing and a curse because they can't do any more damage, but we also can't get the bill to go any further this session. We did go pretty far this session. There are several bills like this throughout the states. There's California, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Iowa, Florida, and Texas. And so far, to my knowledge, Texas is one of the few, if not the only, that has gotten a hearing on the bill in committee. Now, what we are doing currently, because this is a long haul fight, we are going to county commissioners and county judges. We have calculated with the Center for Public Policy Priorities, a think tank here in Texas, about how much Medicare for y'all will save counties, the county budget, for instance. So like a lot of roads are crumbling, a lot of bridges are crumbling, and a lot of schools are underfinanced. So we're going to county commissioners and county judges like, look, this will help y'all. And we got a really big endorsement just, I think last Wednesday, from the South Texas County Judge and County Commissioner Association, representing about 45 counties, both Democrat and Republicans, and they chose to unanimously endorse our Medicare for y'all plan.
Okay, well that's certainly good for the future of the bill. And really fast, if you could just remind me, I lived for quite a while in Texas, but I'm trying to remember, you said that the legislative session had just ended. They only serve for a small percentage of the time, correct?
Correct, it's about 60 to 90 days. That's the normal session, so basically at the very start of the year till end of May, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, and the only really important business that government has to deal with is generally in the first quarter, so that should be fine. That's not an issue at all.
What could possibly go wrong?
But that gives you quite a bit of time to organize around the bill. I am curious, you mentioned how there's state level action like what you're pursuing and there's federal action. We've had a lot of conversation in the past year about Medicare for All as a possible nationwide plan. Has that conversation nationally helped your state level effort to get people in Texas to sign on to this plan?
Yes, well, as recent polling has showed, I believe it's 82% of Democrats, about 2/3 of Republican, 2/3 of independents, and about 50% of Republicans support Medicare for all. So that's one of the reasons we frame Healthy Texas as Medicare for y'all. And we're pushing it at the state level to popularize it. And we do tie it very closely to the national legislation. And we kind of help each other, both the national and the state legislation kind of help each other, boost each other up.
Okay, so you've got polls there and you've talked about going to different counties and talking to people there. In terms of actual legislators on the Democratic side and the Republican side, has there been much interest in pushing for this during the next session?
There is growing interest in this. So the bill was led by Representative Gina Hinojosa, a fabulous representative. And we also have, I believe there's 3 other co-sponsors for the bill this time around. Though we had a lot of people who were interested, but we couldn't get to commit this time around, which is fine, we'll get them next time. And basically we are going to be using this as a way to look, these representatives did or did not support, they were or were not supportive this time around. Healthcare is one of the most popular issues, at least in the state of Texas, I believe probably nationally so as well. So we're gonna use this to push our representatives hey, if you want to be reelected, you really should focus on this and look how far we've come and look how popular these ideas are.
And you mentioned the money that could be saved for governments in the county level. I imagine overall in Texas it would be significant. But for individuals, if this plan were put into effect, what sort of economic impact would it have on people in Texas?
It would be pretty drastic in a very, very good way. So if I remember right, a lot of folks, well, let me actually use I have a friend I don't want to name them, but they voted for Trump. They are a Trump supporter, and they recently had a shotgun wedding, not because of pregnancy or anything like that, but because he had health insurance, she did not, and she's too sick to work, so she can't get health insurance, but since she can't work, and all that kind of downward spiral. So I was telling them about Healthy Texas, and they're supportive of it. Because I was explaining to them is like, look, what you're paying now, chances are you're paying 25% of your income towards healthcare, or through deductibles, or through copays, or premiums, or whatever have you. We can eliminate all that. Also, during the hearing we had, it was kind of advantageous for us. So we were supposed to be one of the first bills heard. We ended up being like the 10th, and all the bills before us, or all the speakers before us, were talking about how health insurance companies really royally screwed them over. So there was this lady who got cancer. She wanted some of her eggs to be frozen so she could have a child of her own later on. Health insurance didn't cover it.
And I'm imagining in some of those procedures, the bills would be quite high. Incredibly important in Texas, obviously a big state, very important politically for the future of the U.S. And so, best of luck on pushing for the bill and trying to get as much support for it as possible before the next session. Clayton Tucker of Our Revolution, Texas, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching this clip from The Damage Report. For more content from the show and access to TYT Network members-only exclusives, go to tyt.com/Brooke. Wait, no, it's tyt.com/John. Go to tyt.com/John to sign up.